All right. Are we up? That looks like it. Let's see what happens here. Okay. All right. We got the backup one going. Let's do this then. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Level Up Lando, the show that takes you inside the struggles, the trials, the tribulations. The backup camera just went down. And the occasional successes. That is the everyday challenge of my life as I pursue my never-ending effort of trying to level up. I'm your host, Landon like a plane, and I'm coming to you from Truscott Studios, also known as my bedroom, right here in a relatively gray Aspen, Colorado. Today is Monday, March 17th. I believe it's St. Patrick's Day, so happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. 2025. And this is, I guess, I'm going public with these now. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I'm all over the place. But this is a Level Up Lando episode, so I'm going to tell you about the dramas of my life because it has been hard, man. I started my own company almost a year ago. It'll be a year in May. Today's March 17th, so 2 more months, and it'll be a year, so 10 months. And I really am enjoying it. I'm really enjoying working for myself. I'm really enjoying being my own boss and having the time and effort that I'm putting into the company go to reinvesting in the company and reinvesting in myself. I am struggling financially, and in that way, I'm trying to break the pattern of whatever I've got going on with being broke. And in that way, I'm even just trying to reframe my whole mental position so that I'm not even using the word broke. I feel like saying that I'm broke or, declaring that I'm broke is somehow helping to manifest me continuing to be broke. And so I'm trying not to use that word. I'm trying to replace the word broke with like financially challenged, because challenges I rise to and challenges I step up to, and I usually come out ahead. And so in that way, as I'm trying to call forth and manifest a reality where I am not struggling as bad as I am right now, the reality of my reality is that I don't have any money. And I don't know how you term that other than being broke. So it's this weird dichotomy where I've got two things happening at the same time. On the one hand, I'm trying to change what's so. And on the other hand, I'm trying to define what's so to be able to change it. And in my attempt to define it, I don't like how I'm terming it. I don't like the way I'm using in my head, even not even saying it out loud, just in my mind thinking I'm broke is helping manifest that reality. The universe says, okay, fine. If you think you're broke, we'll give you that. And if you think you're rich, we'll give you that. And in so many ways, I feel like I am the richest man in Aspen in so many ways. And so I have decided to make that my new moniker. Rather than being blue collar Aspen, or rather than being broken Aspen, or rather than being, your everyday man in Aspen, I am now the richest man in Aspen. And that's because, other than the financial challenge that I have, my life is so rich. I have so much going on. And from that place, I'm just very thankful and grateful. And so today I'm hoping to dive into some of the issues that I'm dealing with and how I'm going to overcome them, which is, I don't know that yet. I usually work that out on the episode. And that's part of the reason that I like filming these things, is even though I don't have an audience, and I'm not even really looking to get an audience. I mean, I guess eventually I am. I'm starting to post these things publicly, apparently. But even though I'm not, trying to become popular or whatever, the reason that I do it is for me. This is that I work shit out. And now I'm just doing it in a way where hopefully I can inspire people, and I'm trying to do it publicly. My motivation is to be of service. My motivation is to try to be of contribution and to help anybody else who is struggling or on a similar path or even a completely different path. That if any of the stuff that I say lands or is relatable and is helpful, I kind of have determined that it's selfish of me to not share and to not offer up what I'm dealing with and how I'm handling it in the hope that maybe it helps somebody else. Even if it helps just one other person, then it's worth whatever the ridicule and the public, you know, shaming and or judgment that I'll get from being public and going public. It'll be worth it if I could just help one person. So that's my intention. That's my motivation. Oh man, I don't want to answer this. God, can I pause this? Not. I guess we'll pop back in here. Screw it. I'll call him back. So, this is important to me. You know, I like doing these things. So, let's see. Where are we at? Yeah, today's March 17th, and I am freaking out. I am really worried about how I'm going to pay rent. I don't have a client at the moment, and I don't have any potential income coming in. The tiny little bit of money that I have is dwindling and going to pay out bills and things that I don't consider to be particularly critical. When it comes down to paying like rent and or for food, which it kind of goes food and then rent. Actually, maybe it goes rent and then food. And I don't really have enough money for either. And so, despite feeling like I'm the richest man in Aspen, I have this very difficult reality that I have to face that is the reality of my reality is that I'm struggling. And as I try to overcome that struggle, I don't know how to describe it in a way other than what it is. So I'm working on that. I'm trying to figure out how to both like use the right verbiage and wording, as well as just mentally make that shift and make that switch. So that's all stuff that I'm working on. That said, as I work on that stuff, I'm making improvements. It's one of the crazy things about working for yourself is that, every day is the opportunity to continue to grow your business and improve your business. And on that, like, kind of time frame over like like if you're measuring by the decades, I am making progress, on a day-to-day basis. I still feel like I'm making progress, although it may be less observable. And so in that way, there's a part of me that feels like I'm not doing enough. Like I'm not actually putting in the kind of work that you need to put in to be successful. And from that place, I have a doubt and there's a fear and like a scaredness of, am I doing what I need to do? Am I doing it right? Am I doing, there's no assurance that all this effort is leading anywhere other than the feedback that I get, which that's sort of what I'm getting at, is the feedback that I'm getting is I am on the right track and that I'm doing the right things, even if I can't really know for sure or even tell. I've got to believe that what is happening as a result of me doing these things, like for example, just the one thing that's sort of jumping out to me is I've been going to the gym a lot lately. I don't have very much money. I can't afford to buy alcohol, that's for sure. I have been buying weed, which I just had a conversation with myself last night where I think I'm going to stop smoking weed. The conversation was like, what are you willing to sacrifice to become rich? And it was like, are you willing to stop smoking weed? And it was like, yeah, of course I'm willing to stop smoking weed. If it's a choice between smoking weed and being rich, I would rather be rich. That's not to say that you can't be rich and smoke weed. You definitely can. But if smoking weed is preventing me from being rich, and all I have to do is stop smoking weed to become rich, would I do that? Would I make that sacrifice? Was sort of the question I was asking myself. And the answer is an absolutely yes, I would. And so then my inner self came back and was like, then prove it. Then prove it. Show that you're serious. Show me that you're serious about making this dream happen. And if you are serious, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice to make your dreams come true. And the truth for me is there isn't much I'm not willing to sacrifice. There are a few things. I was thinking about it, like what is like a non-negotiable, right? Like my family. So I'm not necessarily super close with my family, but I definitely wouldn't sacrifice my relationships with my family to be rich. That's a non-negotiable. I'd have no desire. I would not give up my family. Weed, yeah, I would give up weed so that I don't have to worry about how to pay rent and struggle so badly. Totally, I would do that. That's an easy one actually. Even though I really love smoking weed, and a big part of me identifies with smoking weed, and that's a big part of my identity. And so in that way, that's interesting. Just I had that conversation last night. I'm reading this book, Power versus Force, and it's talking about the difference between accomplishing things via the use of force, which you can get stuff done with, but your ability to do that is limited because you're forcing, versus power, where the potential for power and to get stuff done using your power and being powerful is unlimited. And so from that place, you're better off harnessing your power to accomplish stuff than using your force, which it's not to say that you can't get stuff done using force. You can. So sometimes you do just have to force it. Other times I find that it's definitely a more leveraged use of your power to be powerful instead of forceful. And in that process of reading, I'm just learning about different levels of consciousness and energy vibration and fear. And one of the things that I read last night was something to the effect of fear goes away with understanding. And that was profound. And so I do believe that the universe is unfolding perfectly. I do believe that the universe is conspiring in my favor. So from that belief system comes the ability to accept everything that's happening, and furthermore, to own it, to take accountability and responsibility for everything that's going on in my life. And I could just feel an uplifting experience inside myself as I said that out loud. To take accountability for everything that's going on in your life made me feel, saying that out loud made me feel better about the fact that I can't pay my rent. And to know that it's going to be okay. And that even if I can't pay my rent, and even if I lose my home and I become homeless again, which I've already been homeless multiple times, that's not the end of the world. And that as long as I continue to live, that there's another opportunity and another chance for me to change, to make things better, and to make things the way that I want them. And that suffering comes from wanting your reality to be different than the way that it is. And I do want my reality to be different than the way that it is. The way that it is, I can't pay my rent. The way that it is, I can't pay my bills. The way that it is, I can barely buy food. And hearing myself say those things out loud right now, I'm trying to change that. I don't know how to change that verbiage so that it's like I am experiencing a reality that I've created for myself with the opportunity to learn a lesson that I haven't figured out yet. And when I do figure it out, I'll be able to grow beyond this particular version of this reality. And the reason that I want money, and the reason that I want success and to be able to take care of myself, is I have a deep desire to be of service and to be of contribution. And you can't help other people unless you have helped yourself first. And so that's where I'm coming from. That's where my motivation is coming from. It's not with the agenda of becoming rich for the sake of being rich. Like, I do want money, but it's just to be able to pay my bills, to take care of myself. And then I hope to give my money away. Then I hope to be able to be of service and contribution and really dedicate a lot of my time. That's the other thing, is that I tend to have time to be of service and to focus my attention and my effort and my energy in any particular direction I care to, where it's needed and going to be of contribution that helps to move the needle, to help my community, to help my world. And I want it so badly. I want that so badly because I feel like that's what I'm called to, and in that way, that's my potential. Like when I get there, then I'll be like really living into my potential. And that comes back to what we were just talking about, how I have these little things that I'm doing in my day that are helping me to realize my potential and change my reality. And one of those things is going to the gym. I'm chasing 100 days skiing, which I have never done before. Not living in Aspen, and I bought my pass this season through the company, which was super expensive. So I'm getting my money's worth, and I'm at day 77. So I've got 23 more days to go, and there's like 33 more days left in the season. So from that place, I'm doing my best to get every day in that I can. And I'm combining that with going to the gym. And I can feel myself getting stronger. I can see myself getting leaner. I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm considering giving up weed. These are all little choices that are helping me to push myself into that potential and into that reality of being worthy of everything that I'm chasing and everything that I'm dreaming about and everything that the vision contains, and that I am making these small incremental improvements that I'm hoping will lead to a breakthrough. But for right now, there's a lot of doubt, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of concern about, is this going to work? Do I need to get another job working for somebody else again? And how am I going to pay my rent? And all of that is definitely shrouded in fear. There's a lot of fear and fright and afraidness happening inside, internally, and it's concern. But at the same time, I have the safety net and the backup of the understanding that it's all perfect and it's all for me, and that if I believe that and lean into that, that somehow it's going to work out, and that when it does or how it does, I'll have grown and learned. So when you're filled with fear and doubt and concern, and you're not sure of the way, and you're wondering if all your effort is worthwhile, I like to take a look at the Daily Stoic, 366 Meditations on Wisdom, Perseverance, and the Art of Living by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. The last time we looked at this was March 10th, so it's been about a week, as we are here now on March 17th. The beauty of choice. So I already let you into my mind. I already let you know I'm filled with doubt and concern. And I believe that I'm doing the little things I need to do, but I'm worried that I'm not doing enough. And at some point, I got to let go of that concern and just focus on the fact that even if I just do one thing that is helping me to be productive in my day, even if I wanted to do 10, getting one done is enough. Even if I don't feel like it is, and that I should have had the other 9 things done. I've been listening to a lot of Alex Hormozy, and he was talking about how your biggest competition isn't your competition; it's the little things that distract you from doing the work that you need to do. And I was like, oh my God, that's me. That's totally me. Like, I'm playing on my phone. I'm doing everything but the work, in an attempt to avoid it, which I don't know what that's about. I want to do it, so. When you're feeling self-doubt and when you're feeling worried or concerned that maybe the effort that you're putting in isn't worth it, take a look at this book. It has the ability to reframe your mind in just a few minutes, and it does that for me often, which is why I like to share with you where I'm at mentally before I read it, and then I'll kind of work through my processing with you as I conclude. So let's see what today is about. March 17th, the beauty of choice. You are not your body and hairstyle, but your capacity for choosing well. If your choices are beautiful, so too will you be. Epictetus Discourses 3.1.39b-40a. It's that line in the movie Fight Club. You are not your job. You're not how much money you have in the bank. You are not the car you drive. You're not the contents of your wallet. Obviously, our friend Epictetus never saw that movie or read the book, but apparently the consumerism of the 1990s existed in ancient Rome too. It's easy to confuse the image we present to the world for who we actually are, especially when media messaging deliberately blurs that distinction. You might look beautiful today, but if that was the result of vain obsession in the mirror this morning, the Stoics would ask, are you actually beautiful? A body built from hard work is admirable. A body built to impress gym rats is not. That's what the Stoics urge us to consider. Now, not how things appear, but what effort, activity, and choices they are a result of. And I got to tell you, reading that, I felt two things. I felt one, that's exactly what I'm doing, right? I just got done telling you about how I'm making these little choices that I feel like are helping to push me along. So if you ever have to question whether or not you're doing the right thing or whether it's worthwhile, you can take solace in the idea that it is, and that you are making the little choices, and that it's not how it appears. Which again, the way that my life appears is like I'm broke and like I'm struggling. But like I just got done telling you, I feel like I'm the richest man in Aspen. And there's a lot of rich guys here, and I'm the richest one. And it's not because of my bank account, and it's not because of the car I drive. It's because of the level of fulfillment that I have from waking up every day and feeling like my life is blessed and that every breath is a miracle. I just feel so grateful to be alive at all. And again, if there's any way that I can share and be of service and be of contribution, then I'm in for that. That I think that that's important to do, and that to not do it is selfish, and to not do it is shying away from my potential and my calling and what I'm here to do, which is to be of service in whatever limited way I can be by being authentic and telling my truth. And that is where I ultimately end up at the beginning and end of every day. So from that place, it's reassuring to hear that even back in ancient Roman times, people were shallow and, cared more about the way that things looked than the way that things really are. And even though on the surface my life looks like it is a shit show and a struggle, and honest to a certain degree it is that, really it is a very fulfilling, deeply gratitude based existence where even I am grateful even for my problems. I'm grateful even for my struggles because I've seen the world, I've been around, and I know how horrible an existence can be. And if that were me, I would hope that I would have the ability to be grateful just for the ability to exist and to be alive, even if it was a life of suffering, which all life is at the end of the day. Life is suffering. So it's important to choose it. It's important to embrace your suffering and to take accountability, take responsibility for the life that you create. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do through this show. And so with that, let's jump into the little yellow book of accountability. We're almost filled this thing out completely, which is pretty wild. We only have a couple pages left in it, and then I got to switch over to this guy, the green book of accountability. So, yeah, here we go. Let's see here. 317.25. Taxes. And you know what? The one thing I did yesterday was get all my taxes together. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to take care of that. I got to call my accountant. I got to edit some videos. Maybe I can create some clients. I gotta write a blog post, which I did for a friend and he liked it. Virtual tours. My friend has like an architectural consultant company, and he's talking about doing these virtual tours for his clients with the Oculus. And I have a camera that can do virtual tours, and I just haven't figured out how to do that quite yet. So that's definitely something I gotta start experimenting with. So that's pretty good. And then bills and fines. I got a late fee for driving through a toll in Denver, and I didn't pay the bill. It was $2. Now it's $7. So I don't have any money. So $7 is a big deal. I have to pay double the fee in a late fee. It's expensive to be poor. So all right, that's a good roundup of all the different things that I have to do. So I'm gonna start taking care of some of these things. I'm gonna get on it. I'm feeling a little bit motivated. It's so cool how when I sit down and I kind of talk some of this stuff out, I'll start off feeling relatively down and unmotivated. But by the time I get to the end of it, I've sort of talked myself up and into like a peppy state where I'm ready to go. I want to go take care of some shit. So that's where it's at. We're at 25 minutes in, so I usually try to run around a half an hour. I could probably drone on for another few minutes, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and end the show a little bit early today. I got stuff to do, and I'm feeling motivated enough to do it, and so I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of that. So with that, I hope that you found some sort of motivation for yourself watching me go from unmotivated to motivated, and if not, hopefully the Daily Stoic helped, and if not, well, then I wish you, inspiration and motivation in your day as you try to fight through some of the more difficult and resisting feelings that you might be having. But know that you're exactly where you're supposed to be and that you're perfect, whole, and complete just as you are. There's nothing that needs to be fixed. There's nothing that's broken. And so from that place, there's nothing to feel guilty about and there's nothing to blame. So accept that you are where you are, just like I'm accepting I am where I am, even though I have the intention to be where I want to be. And so I'm going to go ahead and continue to work towards making all that happen. And that starts by taking care of some of the stuff that I just wrote down on this little list here, which first off is my taxes. Because maybe if I get my tax refund, I'll be able to pay rent. Hey, wouldn't that be nice? So anyway, between now and then, I'm your host, landing like a plane, the richest man in Aspen, and I'm taking off.